active citizen parliament. Tonight we examine 3 pressing developments shaping Nigeria's political and cultural landscape as we head towards 2027. A potential generational shift in leadership, a bold cultural investment, and an urgent call for electoral reform. My name is Sharon Enemchukwu. Joining me live in the studio, I have with me Ifoma Oji. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, Sharon.
How are you doing?
I'm okay, just there.
This is your response tonight.
Yes, I'm waiting for my favorite day of the week.
Which is?
Tomorrow.
Thank God it's Friday. I understand. But before we, go to that mood, we have to take some serious conversations. Now, first, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has declared that he is prepared to step aside from the 2027 presidential contest if a younger, broadly acceptable candidate emerges. Second, President Bola Tinubu has unveiled the newly renovated National Theatre in Lagos, now named the Wole Soyinka Center for Culture and Creative Arts, a project costing 68 billion naira funded by the Bankers Committee. Third, the European Union is urging swift and decisive action on Nigeria's electoral and constitutional reforms ahead of 2027 to bolster the credibility of our elections. Now, we first have to start with this bold proclamation from Alhaji Atiku Abubakar declaring that he is ready to step aside. For now, we look at the criteria that he mentioned for a younger, widely accepted candidate, from the ADC. And now this has raised a lot of speculations with people putting down their glasses. Who might Atiku be talking about? Me, I have somebody in mind, but Ifoma, do you have someone that you think he might be referring to?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking it's
Obviously, that's mine as well. But you think that he making such a proclamation, we've had such conversation in the past before where we said it was as though being president was on his bucket list and he just wanted to take that off. Now, with this type of statement, do you think that has watered down on the appearance of desperation that people thought that he had towards presidency?
Yeah, somehow. To an extent, it has, or it will. Because people have been seeing him as this desperate candidate, and for the fact that he has run for this presidential position for 6 times, and this 2027 will make it the 7th time. So it shows, or it whispers desperation. Sorry. However, I feel like he is trying to act as maybe like a unifier, and at the same time open up or leave the doors open for himself. Unify in the sense that if this coalition should work, everybody all hands need to be on deck to achieve the purpose of the coalition against 2027 election. Then again, he's opening the door for himself in the sense that if Nigerians and the opposition does not provide an eligible candidate, you already saw his criteria, then he can still run for the 2027 election. So he's not saying that he will not run,
of course,
but he is challenging the opposition. That is, he's challenging ADC and he's challenging Nigerians, because he equally mentioned to Nigerians that it's not about gaining or attracting traffic on Twitter or on social media, but being able to mobilize somebody that is credible, somebody that has integrity, somebody that have standing in the society, somebody that is popular. So he's challenging Nigeria, he's putting it out there and telling Nigerians, if you can provide this person, and the person is still young, and energetic, if you can provide this person, I am ready to step down. But
and
if
this
you
means a whole lot for us.
I will still run.
And this means a whole lot for us as a nation, as it concerns our politics now, because if you look at the political terrain and the previous election, you look at the top 3. When INEC wants to give out when they want to call out the results, you would see the first sort of the winner, first runner-up, and then third place. Now, when you look at that list, we know who the youngest was. It was Mr. P2B. We know who the most, accepted candidate was among the three of them. And now coming out to give out this criteria that a particular candidate already possesses, it's just giving me a picture. I might just be speculative. It's just painting a picture that there might be a political game playing that we do not know about, or an agreement sort of that we do not know about. I genuinely feel that Nigerians would have a whole lot when it comes, when 2027 comes, even things that we were not expecting. I am expecting to be shocked when candidates are being revealed, especially, and how this election would run, especially the presidential election. Now, you've already, said that there's also a possibility that he would run if no candidates like this appears. But we also have to take a look at the fact that, like we've said before, politicians don't resign easily. Like, they don't step aside easily. It's only in 2015 that we've seen that a ruling party, they conducted election and they lost. But normally you would not see something like that. Now, what does this mean for us as a nation? If somebody like Atiku Abubakar, instead of running for presidency, now pulls weight behind another candidate?
It would be iconic. It would be revolutionary.
Revolutionary.
It was among one of the things I wanted to say when you were done talking. Because if you want to step aside, don't just step aside, but you already have the mechanism. You already have, the machineries. You're wealthy. He has the power to back, standing, to back any candidate. So if he's able to back that candidate, I think we are moving towards, something,
like we've never seen before.
Yes, that we've not witnessed in Nigerians' history before. And I mean, it will set the standard. It
will set the tone for a lot of things politically. And we've seen this also, and he's under the ADC now. He has defected to the ADC. Now, also, let's look at this politically and also what this means for ADC, because he said if the young candidate, is coming out from his party, of course, it will not make sense if he, although it could make sense, right? We have to put party politics aside and try and support candidates that are credible and eligible. Now, also for ADC, who just, they've come out now to challenge the seating power. If by any chance they're able to do that come 2027, what do you think this would mean for them, generally, with how it seems as though we are trying to fight against the one-party system that is trying to befall Nigerians?
No, if I get you correctly, you're asking if
I'm asking what it would mean for ADC as a party if they're able to produce a candidate that will win the presidential election come 2027.
Then I think their mantra, or rather their aim for forming the coalition has been, successfully achieved. Okay, because I mean, why did they form the coalition in the first place? Is to unseat the present government. They've seen the irregularities that have been going on in governance and in governance in general. So it's more like an opportunity for them to unseat this, and this has happened. Is it in the year? I can't remember the particular year, but it has happened before, but it failed. So them coming up with this again, if it works, it will definitely set the standard, and then other party will have to reshape or reconstruct or reform their own party, because moving forward, if they should keep that up, then other parties will have to match their energy or overmatch their energy.
And it would be beautiful to see, because currently we are seeing where there are a lot of internal crises in some political parties, if not most of the political parties in Nigeria, currently battling with structures and all of that. inwardly, right? Now, if this happens, it would just set the standard. It would be change starting from the top now, and it would reflect in other political parties. And I thought it would just be so beautiful to witness that in this generation, and see what that would mean for the people of Nigeria. But for this to happen, I don't know if you see this happening with the type of policies that we have for our elections and the states and the health of our elections and how our elections are conducted, because we are going to move to the next story, but it is tied to this one. Now, the European Union, through its democracy support programs, is pressing Nigeria's National Assembly, which is INEC, and other stakeholders to fast-track constitutional and electoral reforms ahead of 2027. Now, with what we have right now with INEC and all of that, do you think this is achievable?
Right now, it is not achievable. But if they should heed to the advice of the European Union and not consider it as a form of external interference, then I think that, we could see changes or reformation in the electoral body in Nigeria.
Yes, it would be beautiful to see.
According to I think to them, they made about 27 recommendations, but I think 6 or 7 were priority, and some of them was about the what should I call it? Let me just, I can't just list them, I have them here, but the things they talked about is basically to reform the entire electoral system. They should make it public, the results should be accurate, credibility,
yes,
and
of course,
all this stuff was the top priority of the things that they listed in their recommendation, which the chairman of INEC said that those recommendations will be reviewed using the constitution. So they will still review that. But again, let me just.
All right, and I understand what you're saying.
So much.
No problem.
Fall into what you want to say.
No, you have every right to say what you want to say. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, with what they are saying now, and with 2027 fast approaching, my own problem with all of these electoral reforms is how fast can this be achieved. And it's not as though it's not achievable, it's just how fast within the period that we have before 2027. Yes, I know that if we start on time to make efforts to change certain things, we can achieve it. But are we ready to have such discussions? We are still talking about how the INEC chairman is being appointed. We are yet to change that. The presidency hasn't said anything concerning that. The leaving INEC chairman has not said anything about that. And we are just clamoring for these things to change step by step. Not just the EU, we've had other people in Nigeria come out, that's political stakeholders, come out to suggest that it's high time that we pay attention to our electoral reforms and implement it as soon as possible. Now, with the time, it's not a limit, but with the time that we have from now to 2027, do you think it's achievable?
Yes, it's realizable. If INEC should work, if they should really, seriously work, because like I said, those top priorities can definitely be worked on. If you don't know how to do it, tell the EU that came to advise you to equally give you advice on how to go about it. But I even want to mention I was researching on maybe that stuff like maybe consequences if Nigerian should not listen to this advice from EU. I was actually reasoning on that because I think there should be some level of sanction. You understand? Because
from EU,
something like that.
Can they?
I read it and I saw something like EU hold majority of the 27 blocks in Africa. They are situated in every country, 27 countries in Africa. So during election, they have their observers, people that come and observe how election is faring. And not just that, they equally contribute massively to the economy. They are one of, you know, the people that contribute to Nigeria's economy of recent. If you Google it, you're going to see a lot that they do, the educational, you know, sector, the healthcare sector. So I'm like, if there should be consequences if they don't reform INEC, then those consequences should come from probably them withdrawing their observers, probably them, those monies that they feel, those assistance you get, maybe they could withdraw it. And if possible, they should equally, those politicians that travel to the UK, London for leisure activities, or the rest of them, maybe if they kind of issue visa bans to them, maybe we can actually be headed somewhere.
All right, now this is something that we would, you know, love to see. When you say something, you have actions to back those things that you are saying, not just coming, because we have a lot of international observers during the elections and all of that, and we saw what happened during the last election with people, you know, that observed, and the data that they came out to give. But at the end of the day, it was as though nothing came out from all of that. So at this point, it is left to us as a civil society, as Nigerians, to hold these people accountable, you know, to hold the electoral body, which is INEC, accountable, and not just, you know, going out to vote, but staying back to count and all of that. And I know I can read the mind of the viewer watching this. Oh, we did that in 2023. You have to do it again in 2027, because if you don't, who will? It will make it easier. You would make the whole rigging process just way easier for them. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm not prophesying doom that it would happen in 2027, but these are things that we've experienced before, and we are just saying prep yourselves. Now, for the state of the elections currently, there's just a whole lot that needs to be done. Funny enough, we talked about the fact that the presidency came out to say that they are ordering that the INEC chairman Mahmoud Yakubu to go on an immediate leave because he has betrayed the APC. Now, betraying the APC, that statement, we had that discussion, and we talked about how that just felt like the INEC was supposed to work, or is supposed to work, for a particular party, or in this case, the ruling party, and it's not supposed to be so. If you are bearing the name Independent National Electoral, that it is not just supposed to happen. Now, with what we are seeing currently, I think it's high time that not just us as a people, but even the presidency, even the president, you know, awakens to the fact that the country cannot go forward without credible, free, fair elections. Now, it is not a Nigerian that came out to give out these suggestions. Now, it is the EU, meaning that they have witnessed what has happened before. They are calling on them now to do even better. They are calling on INEC to do better now. So it's not a situation of just Nigerians complaining or being bitter and all of that. It shows that international bodies are paying attention, and the presidency should also pay attention as well. Now, just to ask the final question on this, to understand where we are standing currently now, when the new INEC chairman comes, he is going to last till 2027, and oh yeah, of course, he's going to be appointed by the presidency as well. With that already now, do you think that there is already a loophole, even if you want to now change some things in our elections and move some things around, with the fact that we already have an INEC chairman that is appointed by the president? Do you think that that would stall the flow of things?
Yeah, it will stall the flow of things when it comes to, you know, reformation processes, because I believe the existing INEC chairman already know the terrains of, you know, election, how election is being run in Nigeria. So the new person will still have to adapt to the fact that, oh, it's not the usual, maybe he's a professor in a certain institution, it's not the usual thing you get, is different from, he will have to, you know, be engrossed or understand how the entire electoral, you know, body works. So it could, those processes could actually stall a lot of reformation processes.
Yeah,
understand. So.
And I think I couldn't agree more. It would stall, but this is if or if, it happens that the INEC chairman is somebody with integrity and dignity, I am just saying it would be a miracle to see things like that happen.
Now it's not even going to happen.
It will be a miracle. Now, yesterday, President Tinubu officially unveiled the renovated National Theatre in Lagos, okay? He renamed it the Wole Soyinka Center for Culture and Creative Arts, a project funded by the Bankers Committee at a cost of 68 billion naira. Before we move further, so we don't even get carried away, 68 billion naira by Bankers Committee. Now, it is beautiful and monumental, and it's them leaving a legacy with our national theatre, investing in the arts. We're always calling out the government to invest in the arts, even entertainment in Nigeria. So it's beautiful, right? We love that. But 68 billion naira. When millions of Nigerians are in poverty, when we have over millions of children who are out of school, and people who cannot live, the people that are living below $1 is just insane. And these numbers are not going down. They keep rising and increasing every single day. Now, 68 billion naira for the National Theatre, in my opinion, is just one of those situations again that we see that the government is just misplacing priorities. I have no problem with the theatre. I love the theatre, to be personally speaking, but when the Nigerian that has not received salary, that has not received pension, the Nigerian that is being paid 2 million naira after spending your life serving a country sees this sort of news, I'm not sure they will be smiling home at night, or sleeping with smiling faces, or wishing the Nigerian government well. It's just things that I see and I feel like, oh, that was quite insensitive. But to you, Ifoma, you might see it differently. But what do you think?
When I saw the news story, the first thing I did was to read the comments, and from the comment you could see the agony of Nigerians. See, some of them even mentioned to the fact that they are not against, bankers committee building this for, or reconstructing this for Wole Soyinka, that he deserves it. I mean,
it's not for Wole Soyinka.
It's not, but they renamed it.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. That it is actually something to commend. That, I mean, somebody of that caliber. I mean, he won the Nobel Prize, the laureate laureate in 1980 something. That should be 1986. And when we talk about art, he embodies art. When we talk about playwright, he embodies it. Whatever that surrounds creativity, Wole Soyinka is there. But my problem is the fact that they are renaming the man, a living man. It's what I am yet to understand. And when this happened, when it came to, Wole Soyinka's attention, he received it with mixed feelings, because I felt he criticized the government, he praised the government when the government is not doing well. You understand? So you giving him this particular, honor or prize, it is beautiful, but at the same time, I know he must have felt that this 68 billion naira, if channeled to different things, like you've said everything. What more can I say? If channeled to education, we have about 24 million out of school children. We have almost, from that 24 million, we still have about, almost 6 million Amajiris hovering around the streets of Nigeria. If this money is channeled to a lot of things, even if maybe you want to focus on theater, why don't you build it at least in 6 geopolitical zones? That money can actually fund theaters, erect theaters in 6 geopolitical zones. So if we are to increase or improve the creative industry, it's not supposed to just be in one place, Lagos. What about other places? You understand? So for me, the money is outrageous, but at the same time, I saw it was the Bankers Committee that did this. But I mean, I can't. It's okay. It's just there.
And you know, when you were talking about Wole Soyinka's message and acceptance speech for this during this event, he said something that he has had an issue in the past with appropriation, whereby leaders just want to put their names on everything. And then when he received this news, he just felt he thought about it from different perspectives, right? He asked himself, is this another case of appropriation, trying to give his name to a building? And it's not, you know, you can't give your name to buildings even though you're still alive. That's not even a problem, whether you're alive or you're dead. It's any way they want to honor you, you know, that's fine. And Wole Soyinka is someone that is worthy of that honor. But now the whole, you know, 68 billion naira, like you said, it's the bankers committee, but to be honest, 68 billion naira, and we would would have to pay visits to that place to see where the 68 billion naira went to in the first place, because it's not about spending 68 billion naira, it's about maintenance. In the long run, can I go there and tell my, oh yes, you know, we spent 68 billion naira to do all of this, and it would look like that? Another problem that we've always had in Nigeria is maintenance, but that is away from the point. The whole point now is the fact that we are seeing misappropriation, not just mismanagement, not misappropriation. We are seeing mismanagement, and to be honest, you can't now tell if they are being honest. 68 billion, it might be more, it might be less. Sometimes they just do all of these things to try and score points with the public. So I'm not even going to get agitated, because it might or it might not be true.
They're not even sensitive.
That's why I said they were not sensitive initially.
What point are you trying to score from the fact that a normal Nigerian citizen live below $1?
That's their problem. I don't know.
So you're not scoring anything at the end of the day. They should even be ashamed that they mentioned that kind of price. With what's going on in Nigeria, they shouldn't be doing that.
At the end of the day, to be honest, they shouldn't. And these are the things that happen when you have this type of government. We are run by a government that, you know, you can't hold accountable for issues like this. But anyways, we are going to call it a wrap on the show, as we just see and watch as all of these unfolds from, you know, the INEC electoral reforms. Is the government going to hear our cry for electoral reforms? Is Atiku going to step aside during the 2027 elections? I guess we'll all find out in due season. My name is Sharon Chuku, and Ifoma, thank you also for joining me today. As always, thank you for following us across all social media platforms. If you're yet to follow us, please do. We're at Active Citizens across all media. Find me on my personal page at Sharon Chuku. And you?
You can find me on Facebook at Ojisufia and on Instagram at Misolex.
All right, the program has been Active Citizens Parliament. Until we come your way again, do have a good evening.